Hello and welcome back to the third video in our University of Toronto series where we're talking about when U of T sends you your acceptances. So this is a part of our Ultimate University Guide series which really focuses on the top 20 universities in Canada. We give you tips about how to apply for them, how to get in, and lots more. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and you keep up to date with our latest videos and also ring that notification bell. So let's talk a bit about the University of Toronto first. As the name applies, it is a school that is located in Toronto. They have 3 campuses, one in St. George, which is like the downtown area. That's probably the most well-known one. They have additional campuses over in Mississauga and Scarborough. U of T ranks currently as Canada's top universities, and worldwide it is also very much respected, holding top 10 spots in many academic subjects all over. And I also talk more about U of T in detail within our first video in the series. So if you want more information on kind of the university's rankings and stats on a global and domestic level, I would highly recommend that you check out that video. Alright, so now let's talk about the release of your application result. So for normal applications in February, the first major releases are out and they are made to OUAC applicants who are currently in high school. This applies to people who used 101 and 105. So regardless of whether or not you are within Ontario or outside of Ontario, you may receive your application results during this time. But you do have to keep in mind that only a really small percentage of students will receive their offer during this early admissions phase. The second major release comes in March, the next month, and this is also made to applicants who live inside and outside of Ontario who are currently in high school, and most students will receive their offer during this phase. So majority of results or acceptances will be sent out during this time. You may get an alternate offer that was not your first choice, so keep that in mind. And then in May, that is when the final major release comes out, and of course it's also made to all applicants regardless of where they live. And after this round, they continue to give offers on a rolling basis. So to sum it all up, February is when your early acceptances will come out. March is when the large majority of you will receive your acceptances. Keep in mind, some of them, if not all of them, will be conditional and some of them may be alternate. And in May, that is when the final release will be made. And if you are declined, then that is most likely when you will know. And in terms of what to do after you've applied, don't just sit there. Obviously, you can do your scholarship applications. That's a great way to fill the time. But as well, you have to keep sure that you keep on going back to the portal and checking your application status through the Join U of T website, because this is how you verify whether or not your application is completed. So make sure that it's done, and it is your responsibility to verify your status. If your completion or the status of your application is not verified, it is not U of T's responsibility. They will not chase you down to resolve it, so make sure you check it from time to time. And as I said earlier, continue to apply for scholarships and student aid when you're waiting. It's a great use of your time. If you are moving there, decide what residence you want to live in if you are admitted and don't live within the area. Furthermore, there is no really set date for when you'll get your acceptance. I gave pretty general months there earlier, and it's because generally your acceptance depends on several factors, including your degree and the program that you applied for. Some programs give out acceptances early than others for some reason. It determines on the quality of your application. So obviously, if your application was of lower quality, don't expect to get a application acceptance over for early admissions in February and when your grades become available. So very important thing that people try to do, and something I encourage you to do, is try to take all your major classes, all your mandatory classes in your first semester. That way you can get the very important grades to your university as soon as possible, and this really gives you a better chance of success at getting a quicker acceptance from U of T. So some general advice from me there. With that being said, I don't really have much more to say. I'd like to thank you for watching this video, albeit being very short. But as always, I would highly recommend that you take a look in our description below, where we have a very helpful eligibility quiz for you. You can put in your interests, your extracurriculars, and all that, and really gauge your chances at getting into some of Canada's top schools. It's a very, very helpful tool. And also a reminder that if you are struggling with your scholarship applications, Grammy has a great amount of services to help you with that, whether that be a scholarship matching app, editing, mentorship, and one-on-one calls that really help you develop your portfolio. I was personally a student there myself, and I would say it really helped me a lot. I was able to get into my top schools, and as well as able to get some major scholarships. So I would highly recommend that you consider using it if this is something you're really nervous about.